good to see all of you, and some new ones. Welcome all of you. Most of you already know me, and the previous talks that we have done here, some of which I remember, like we've done a talk on mindful living. When we talked on mindful living, it's more about how we can be more sensitive as human beings, more thoughtful as people in our day-to-day lives. Then we also did a talk on living in harmony, which is about how to live a peaceful life, and we had discussed how to maintain internal peace and external, how to get along with others. Then we've also had other talks like nurturing relationships, in getting along well with others. Now today's talk, integrated living, is not very different, but as the word itself says, integrate. So it's going to be a combination of the earlier information as well as a holistic perspective on how we need to conduct our life. So it's basically living with awareness. So we always start our understanding from understanding the word integrate, and as you can see, the word integrate means join mind, and I have attended spiritual talks, and I have attended some religious seminars. So some of the interesting words that I have gathered from there are, one is the religion word itself, which if we trace the origins of the word, it is religare. It comes from the Latin word religios, which is religare. Re means again, and ligare means to bind, which means there is some kind of a perceived separation and joining back. Also yoga, which is a very common word used in India. Both yoga and religion are common words. If we see the root word from where it comes, huge Sanskrit word, it is mainly meaning to join. That means there is something, there is a whole underlying idea that there is some kind of incomplete process which all of us need to complete, which is why the whole talk, if you see the tagline for today's talk, it talks about how to find your uniqueness and what are the other aspects of it? To find your uniqueness and achieve personal transformation. So when we are talking about being religious or doing yoga, we're not talking about ideas of just doing yoga as asanas, or we're not talking about being religious as a belief in God. We're talking about this holistic idea of being religious, living in the state of yoga, which is integrated living is all about. It's a life of living from the center. We are going to come to that. What is the center and all this about? And many of you are pretty advanced in your age. You must be already attending and familiar with all this information that I'm sharing with you. So if you have your own thoughts, please, you're welcome to say whatever you like. Okay, this is a very common diagram in many religious books. It talks about, it's a very scientific and interesting diagram. It explains us what we as human beings are constituted of. And at the center of the diagram, you can see the red dot is the soul, the self, the Atman, consciousness, light, whatever you want to call it. That is what you are all about. And this center is covered by 5 material sheaths, which are called koshas. That's why this is called Pancha Koshas. Okay. Starting from the food sheath, which is your gross body, we can all see each other's gross bodies. That is the food sheath. It's also called the Annamaya Kosha. How many of you have seen this diagram before? The Pancha Koshas? You have, right? Okay. Actually, the topic was there was so much that can be covered in the topic. The topic started with a very simple idea when a friend of mine and I was discussing, and he said, why are we doing these things? Everything in our life is like compartmentalized. Like exercise के लिए अलग से time निकालना पड़ता है. Why do we have to go to a gym? go to a yoga class and do exercise? Why is not that integrated living where, we don't need to do this separately. It should be all proper part of functioning. And that's how this idea of integrated living, the topic had come. And when I sat down to put my thoughts together, I don't know where my thoughts took me. So whatever I could come to put together, I have. I thought we'll talk about some mundane aspects of living integratedly, and it went into some spiritual aspects. The reason we are talking about understanding our spiritual personality is because when I'm talking to you about integrated living from the center, it's about living from your spiritual identity. It's like only when you live from your spiritual identity, your core, your center, can you remain balanced. Because everything else, whatever you do, is temporary props. Only when you sit in the center can you be balanced. So anyway, description of all these sheets. The gross physical body, it's made up of 5 organs of perception. Eyes, you have 5 senses. Okay? I think I've already put it down, but otherwise you can put it. The 5 organs of what are the 5 sense organs? Right. Right. The tongue, the taste, eyes, ears, nose, smell, touch. These are the 5 sense organs of perception. Then you also have 5 organs of action, which is hands, legs, vocal cords. I have wrongly put it as tongue. It's the vocal cord, your sexual organ, and anus. These are the 5 organs of action. The food sheath is the material gross aspect of your personality, and it is called like that because it is made up of the food that you eat, and then when your body, when we experience death, the body is left behind and becomes again matter. The food sheath, when it becomes subtler, it's covered by the vital air sheath, which is also called the pranamaya kosha. And most of you who are engaged in yogic processes, you know the breath is considered very important. The breath is the vital life force which gives us life. 5 physiological processes. The faculty of perception, again it's called prana. The function of the 5 senses, which is again seeing. The earlier when we are talking about the gross organs. Now we are talking about the functioning of these organs. Seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting and touching. Then the faculty of excretion, it's a physiological, all these physiological processes which occur inside your body which cannot be seen. It's called apana in Sanskrit. Evacuation of all kinds of material from your body. It can be urine, feces, sperms, perspiration. Faculty of digestion again is called samana, which means whatever you intake, the digestion of that. Faculty of circulation is called vyana, which is whatever you digest, whatever useful material that you have absorbed, a circulation of that to different parts of your body through your blood circulation. Again, then there is faculty of thought absorption, udana, which is about the input of fresh knowledge. When you move from one sheet to the other, as you move inside the circle, you get in closer to the center, the subtlety increases. When we're talking about the vital air sheath after the food sheath, the vital air sheath is subtler and it controls the food air sheath. That's why whatever happens in your mind, if your breath is disturbed, your body will not function well. You have to keep when you are unwell, you'll see that your breath is not, from both the nostrils, is not even. The mental sheath, the third sheath is called manomaya kosha. It consists of the mind. The mind is a very important aspect in both psychological and spiritual seminars. This is the center of all the mischief that is going on in the world. All that nonsense that is going on is because of the mind. Because the mind has this very important place where it has passions, emotions, feelings, impulses, and most of all likes and dislikes. Most of us are very centered in the mind. Likes and dislikes. I like this, I want to go for this talk because I like this speaker. I don't want to go for this talk because I don't like this speaker. Or I want to do this because I like it, I don't want to do this because I don't like it. Most of our life goes by in likes and dislikes. So the mind plays havoc. Very often it takes over your personality and it results in a lot of chaos. We'll come to how all this again later. Again, the mind, it controls your pranas and it also controls your physical body. When your mind is disturbed, you're feeling tension or you're feeling stressed, you will find again that your breathing is very uneven. You're not breathing from both your nostrils, and you will find physical ailments also. That's why you have psychosomatic symptoms. Most doctors have now realized that physical ailments are not just physical, it's coming from some deeper thought processes or emotional processes. The fourth layer is the intellectual sheath, which is called the Vijnanmaya Kosha. It is your faculty of thinking. The basic process is about the intellect, which reasons, analyzes, and it discriminates. Because everything that we experience in the world, it is pairs of opposites. And the intellectual faculty discriminates constantly between these pairs of opposites, whether it is joy and sorrow, or it can be fame and dishonor, light and day. Whatever you see, whatever you talk about, there is always an opposite to it. So the intellectual faculty basically distinguishes between this, and all kinds of thinking, analyzing about the world, about yourself, it happens here. The bliss sheath or the Anandamaya Kosha is a deceptive Anandamaya Kosha, because what happens, it's called the deep sleep state. It's a state of unconscious, and this word called Vasana, everybody is familiar here with? Vasana? Loosely called desire, but Vasana is basically lust also, but here we don't call it, we are talking about another video. Vikara. Okay. Vasana is basically, it is the seed of your personality. Why are you born, and why are you born in different ways? Each of us present in this room, where every person is different from the other, not only gender wise but nature wise, and everything about each of us here is different, and we are different because of our vasanas. It's totally, vasana is not talent, it's something different. It's like the seed, the seed will show what the tree will be like. So each of us has a different seed in us. Yeah, it's like the seed of your personality. It is unconscious,